Welcome back to Sydney, Australia. As you can see, there's the Harbour Bridge and there's the Opera House. Why you should never date an older woman. Now, there are a few exceptions. If it's like your high school sweetheart, and she's only 1 or 2 years older than you, then it's kind of acceptable. But if you're dating an older woman, in general, the vast majority of the time, there's so many problems with this type of relationship. I want to just quickly cover it and just say that almost across the board, you should never date an older woman because of the manipulation and how it can really destroy your life. And I want to cover that topic because I think it's something that has popped up recently, and there's a guy that myself and a few other guys we're trying to save, and this cougar has her claws into him and she's ruining his life. But before I get into this, I'm Dave, and this channel is dedicated to giving you no BS novel dating advice for the modern man. Top link in the description to check out my website. On there I've got my 30-day challenge to build up. It's for beginners to get into cold approach. I've also got my book if you want to understand a little bit more about myself. You can check out the book, and I also recommend you check out the over 300 blog posts I've written on my website. And if you're in Sydney, you can sign up to do some cold approach coaching with myself. So, older women, massive red flag, warning sign, warning. There's a pattern that I've noticed. They're almost impossible to save. I have had one client who broke up with an older woman who destroyed his life, and he came to me in a wreck. That's the only real time where you can break away from an older woman. They're very manipulative, especially when you are younger than her and you have less money than her. They want to control your life. They want to control who your friends are. They want to manipulate every aspect of your life to the detriment of your future. It is a very dangerous situation to get into, and I recommend all men avoid this. So to start with, there's a pattern I've noticed. A lot of the guys that get messed up with cougars or older women, the girl's a lot more experienced than him, and he is often a very good looking guy, a very handsome guy. He often hits the gym, he's very fit, and he's also very agreeable. He's one of those guys that's very placid and agreeable, and he makes himself more like eye candy for her and an easy target for her manipulation. Now, I've noticed that quite often, the one that I'm thinking about right now that we're trying to save, who is almost impossible to save, he's jacked. Hits the gym all the time, good-looking guy, mid-20s, and she is in her early to mid-30s. She also has a kid, but she has got her claws into him, and it is quite disgusting the way that she's manipulating him. He is probably a 9 out of 10, good looking guy, and she is controlling his life and kind of ruining it. Let me change hands. Sorry to do this, I don't have a stand. But what has happened with the guy that we're talking about today is that he has this agreeable nature, super friendly guy, super nice guy, and he's easily attached to people, and she uses that against him. She uses his agreeableness against him. She manipulates him. He wants to avoid conflict, so she always holds that against him. She's always threatening conflict, and manipulating him and controlling him. This also happened to a guy that I went to high school with. He found himself with a very controlling woman. The irony is, a lot of these guys that I've noticed a pattern that they can handle themselves. A lot of these guys are jacked, big dudes that can fight. They're not meek, weak guys. They're guys that can control themselves and actually fight and have a lot going for themselves, and that's what makes them great eye candy for the cougar to manipulate. And it's a dangerous situation because they often find themselves wasting a lot of their time and effort and emotional baggage they start to gather over time, and it hurts the men. It really does. And the solution, I believe, is to get this guy and get him out there approaching other girls, which is almost impossible to do because these guys are emotionally invested in this manipulative, evil cougar woman, and they can't get away from her. They feel like speaking to another girl would be cheating, and they actually don't want to do that, but it's the only way out of it. Which makes this such a difficult situation if you're an onlooker seeing this guy ruin his life with a cougar that's really never going to, this relationship's never going to go anywhere. Even if they did get married, the divorce would be within 10 years, and by the time he wakes up to himself, he'll be old, he would be financially ruined by her, and she would have just sapped him of all of his energy, finances, and time. It's a real sad situation, and I don't know what to do about it. I haven't come up with a solution just yet, but I just want to talk about how dangerous it is. Only when the woman leaves him does he realize how stupid he was. So she has total control in the relationship. He can't escape. He's emotionally invested in her. He's trapped, and he doesn't listen to any of his friends. And so this is something I'm looking at the moment. I'll just say for you guys out there, if you're watching this video and you've met an older woman, don't get serious with her, because when she gets her hooks into you and when she grabs hold of you, it's almost impossible to get out, and she'll just tear you and drag you through the mud and destroy your life, and emotionally wreck you. So don't get involved in the first place, because I'm noticing with some of these guys, it's almost impossible to extract them from this relationship and get them out. Everybody around him, or all of the guys that I've seen this happen to, every single friend they have knows that this is a bad relationship for him, and has actually said it to him, yet he doesn't listen to anybody. And it's not just one guy. I've seen this multiple times in my lifetime. Avoid older, manipulative, experienced women, because they will ruin your life. If you want to learn a little bit more about dating and relationships and cold approach, go to my website, check out the 300 or more blog posts I have there. You want to learn some cold approach, get the 30-day challenge. That's good for beginners. And if you want to learn a little bit more about myself personally, get my book, The Disabled Casanova. And I'll see you guys in the next video.